When you keep thinking about someone every night, it doesn't always mean you're obsessed or stuck in the past. Sometimes it's something much deeper, something that the logical mind can't easily explain. You lie down, close your eyes, and before sleep can find you, their face appears again. It could be someone you loved, someone who hurt you, or even someone who was never officially yours. But their memory lingers like a quiet echo in your chest, soft but persistent. You try to distract yourself, scroll through your phone, play music, but the moment silence returns, so do they. It feels like your heart remembers what your mind is trying to forget. Psychology calls it an emotional imprint. When a person makes you feel deeply, whether through love, pain, comfort, or confusion, your brain records it like a permanent mark. At night, when the world goes still and your guard is down, the subconscious begins to replay those emotions. That's why you think of them most when it's dark and quiet, because your mind is revisiting unfinished feelings. But if you've ever felt that strange pull, that unexplainable warmth or sudden sadness for no reason, you already know it feels like more than memory. It feels like energy, something alive, something that travels between two people, even when they're far apart. Spiritually, some call it a soul signal, a form of connection that continues long after the relationship has changed or ended. You might think about them at the exact moment they're thinking of you. You might dream about them without meaning to. You might feel a sudden rush of emotion that doesn't even belong to you. These aren't coincidences. They're reminders that energy doesn't follow human rules. It doesn't vanish just because you said goodbye. Every thought carries vibration, and strong emotions amplify it. So when you think about someone repeatedly, especially before sleep, your energy is reaching toward them. Sometimes it's your heart seeking closure. Sometimes it's their energy calling out to yours. And sometimes it's the universe whispering that there's something left to learn, something you haven't yet understood. This isn't always about getting someone back or rekindling old love. Often, it's about recognizing what that connection taught you. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's forgiveness, maybe it's the realization that true love isn't possession, it's growth. Thinking of someone every night can mean your soul is still integrating the experience, still healing the emotions that came with it. So, when their face crosses your mind again tonight, don't rush to block it out. Breathe, observe, and ask yourself what this thought is trying to tell you, because it might not be coincidence. It might just be a signal, a quiet, invisible thread reminding you that some connections are meant to be felt long after they're gone. When you keep thinking about someone every night, long after the world has gone silent and your phone has stopped lighting up, it's not always just your imagination playing tricks on you. It's a quiet tug between two energies that once met, collided, and left something behind. Something that refuses to fade just because time moved forward. You tell yourself it's coincidence, that you're only remembering moments, or maybe your mind is replaying habits. But deep down, in that fragile space between consciousness and dreams, you feel that this person is still connected to you somehow. Their name floats through your thoughts without warning. Their face appears in the quiet glow of your mind, and their energy brushes past your heart like a memory that never left. It begins subtly. You think about them once in the morning, maybe twice during the day, and before you realize it, they've made a home inside your night. The world slows down, the noise fades, and suddenly there's only you and that lingering presence. You start wondering why, after everything, you can't stop thinking about them. You scroll through your phone, maybe check their profile, maybe you don't. But whether you look or not, they still appear in your thoughts. That's because thoughts tied to emotion don't vanish. They echo. Every strong emotional connection creates an imprint, like fingerprints left on the soul. And the more you try to brush it away, the clearer it becomes. There's a psychological explanation to it, but also a spiritual one. Psychologically, when we experience a deep emotional bond, whether it's love, pain, or even confusion, the mind records it in vivid detail. Every gesture, every tone of their voice, every memory of comfort or hurt becomes a living memory that our subconscious revisits when we're most vulnerable, usually at night. Nighttime quiets the distractions that protect us during the day. It exposes the raw parts of our thoughts. That's why you suddenly remember the way they looked at you, or the last message they sent, or how it felt to be near them. But spirituality says something deeper, that the person you can't stop thinking about is energetically reaching for you too. That thoughts, when strong enough, travel. You may not realize it, but your energy reacts to their presence even when they're not physically around. Maybe you sense their emotions without knowing why. Maybe your mood shifts suddenly. Maybe you think of them at the exact time they're thinking of you. That's not random. It's what happens when two souls are still connected at an unseen level. Energy doesn't obey distance. It moves through emotion, through thought, through memory. So when someone is woven into your energy field, they can appear in your dreams, in sudden memories, or in strange coincidences that make you stop and wonder. Some people call it a soul connection. Others call it unfinished energy. Whatever you name it, it's real enough to make your heart ache when you feel them near, even if they're far away. You start noticing signs. Songs that remind you of them start playing everywhere. Their birthday appears on random receipts. You hear someone say their name out of nowhere. You might even wake up from a dream that felt so real you swear you could hear their voice. These are subtle messages from your subconscious trying to tell you that your connection still exists, and from the universe reminding you that energy doesn't vanish when love was genuine. But this connection isn't always about love that needs to return. Sometimes it's a lesson that hasn't been fully learned. The mind replays what the heart never understood. Maybe you keep thinking about them not because you want them back, but because your soul is trying to heal from what happened. Maybe you're being reminded to forgive, or maybe the universe is nudging you to close a chapter you left half open. Thoughts that repeat themselves aren't always about holding on. They're often about releasing. Yet there are moments when this kind of connection means something more. Sometimes, when you think about someone every night, they're thinking of you too. It's why you suddenly feel warmth when you're alone, or peace that you can't explain. It's why your chest feels heavy without pain, as if someone's energy just brushed by. You may never get a message from them, but you feel their presence as clearly as if they were standing in front of you. That's the quiet telepathy between two hearts that once understood each other deeply. You might even notice that when you finally decide to let go, when you stop expecting anything, something strange happens. They reach out, they appear, or something unfolds that brings closure you didn't expect. That's the universe responding to your emotional shift. If you've ever wondered why your thoughts go back to the same person again and again, it's because emotion is memory in motion. When we suppress it, it doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits for silence. It waits for the night. And when the world goes quiet, the heart starts whispering. Remember, heal, understand. That's why you think of them most when you lie down. That's why their name feels like a sigh instead of a word. Because it's not just about missing them. It's about something within you still searching for peace in what once was. Sometimes, your constant thoughts are the universe's way of saying that this person still has a role to play in your story, whether it's to return or to teach you something profound about love, loss, or yourself. Sometimes you're thinking of them because they're in pain, or they're lost, or they're longing in silence just like you. It's not always visible, but those who are spiritually sensitive can feel it deeply. You sense when their energy drops. You feel restless when they're hurting. You suddenly think of them and later find out they were struggling. These moments are beyond science. They belong to the unseen communication between souls who were once close enough to touch each other's hearts. But here's the truth most people forget. Not every connection that stays is meant to last forever. Some stay to remind us what love feels like. Some stay to awaken parts of us that we didn't know existed. When you keep thinking about someone every night, it might be your soul whispering gratitude for what they brought, not longing for what's gone. It might be your mind gently letting go by revisiting what it couldn't process before. Healing often looks like remembering. The signal you keep feeling, the one that makes you think of them out of nowhere, isn't always a call to act. Sometimes it's simply a vibration aligning your frequency with understanding. When your thoughts settle, when you stop chasing answers, when you accept that some connections transcend explanation, peace slowly begins to bloom. You realize that love doesn't always demand presence. Sometimes it only asks to be acknowledged. If you ever wake up at 2 a.m. thinking of someone, instead of asking, why can't I stop thinking about them? Try asking, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you compassion. Or maybe it's showing you how to love without possession. The thoughts will eventually fade when the message is received. That's why they repeat. They're signals waiting for your awareness. It's easy to dismiss these experiences as overthinking. But if you've ever truly loved someone at the soul level, you know it feels different. It's not obsession. It's resonance. Their energy lives in your system until it fully transforms. Once it does, you'll notice something miraculous. The thoughts become softer, the ache turns into calm, and instead of wondering, why do I still think of them, you begin to smile when you do, because it no longer hurts. So no, it's not just coincidence. When you keep thinking about someone every night, it's either your heart asking for closure or the universe reminding you that love, in its purest form, never really leaves. It just changes shape. Every thought is a signal, and every signal is a bridge between two souls, even if only one of them remembers crossing it. And maybe that's the most beautiful part of all. That somewhere, in another quiet room, under the same moon, someone might be lying awake too, thinking of you,